Yes, guys. It's Tiago's Father 89 here from the Red Sea podcast, and we're back with another Red Sea full-time show. Leeds roll into town and get absolutely steamrolled by the Reds at Anfield. 6-0. Six of the best. Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Matip absolutely smash Leeds to pieces. We're here with all the goals, all the chat, and all the discussion after this intro.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are unsupported, and we come from Liverpool.
Yes, guys, we're back again for another Red Sea full-time show, and this time it's six of the best. Mohamed Salah slotting away 2 penalties. Sadio Mane getting on the act as well with 2 for himself. Virgil van Dijk helping himself to a header, and arguably the goal of the game. It's been coming all season. That run has been on all season. And Matip slots it home. SS, how are we feeling?
Pretty good, mate. I'm feeling like Klopp on the bus on that tour, counting on my fingers. No, it was a cracking game, wasn't it? I felt like it had the potential to be one of those games. You know, I watched Leeds against United at the weekend, and yes, they fought back well from 2, but even after the fight back, they're just so open, like all the time. So, coming up away to Liverpool, the most informed team in the league, that's what 6 wins on the bounce in the Prem. It was lambs to the slaughter. And once we got those early goals, it was a question of how many, I think, at the end of the day. And like you say, Mo with 2, Mane with 2, and both centre backs as well. So the goal difference is looking a lot healthier when we're breathing down City's necks.
I mean, we kind of knew that this would be the case. We talk about Leeds and the way they play football. They're no different. They line up in exactly the same way every single time they take to the field. And, it's commendable because a lot of teams in their situation would park the bus. They'd be trying to nick sneaky 1-0s. They'd be trying to do everything they can possibly do to try and not be as open. But Leeds, they don't play that way. For Leeds, they want to come and have a go. They want to come and challenge and play football in the right way. I mean, let's just touch on Leeds for a little bit. I mean, are they doomed? Is the Bielsa project kind of drawing to a close and someone else potentially going to take on the mantle? Because the Leeds board don't look like they want to invest at the moment. And in the past they bought players, they backed the manager, but we've seen them kind of not really bring anyone in. Dan James has obviously been the most recent recruit. Injuries obviously are playing a part. Bamford injured, Phillips injured. And they've had others injured over the course of the season as well. So they do keep a very small squad. So those kind of things can be issues for a team. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the league table now, and in terms of games in hand below them, they could find themselves in the bottom 3. Burnley won tonight at Spurs. Newcastle are picking up some form. Everton, you would expect them to pick up some points as well. So they're 3 points ahead of Burnley. We've played 2 games more than Everton, than Burnley, and 1 more than Newcastle, who are all 1 point behind them. So I think they're in big trouble. I really do. Whether they'll press the Bielsa button and call it a day, I mean, I'm looking at his interview after the game, and it's still not even in English. He's still got a translator standing next to him. He's been in England for years. I mean, it's not good enough, is it? Let's be honest. If you want to get through to the players, I get talking to the media is slightly different, but he can't be getting his ideas across because they just look toothless. They just look all over the shop, and they've now conceded more goals after 25 matches, 54. This season than they did in the whole of last season. So it tells you everything. They were a breath of fresh air, weren't they, when they first came up to the Prem? And like you said, they didn't park the bus. They carried on playing the same way that got them promoted. It was refreshing to see them have a go at the big teams and pick up some decent results. But like you said, they've just become so predictable. And you see so many times these teams that come up and really struggle in the second or the third season when everybody's kind of played them once or twice and kind of figures them out. And at the end of the day, you just got to think if we keep it tight at the back, we're going to get chances. They're going to give us opportunities. And again, once they're 2, 3, 4 goals down, they go even more for a goal and they're even more exposed. So I think they're in serious trouble. I don't think they're going to sack Bielsa, but if they go down, I think he could walk.
Well, this is the thing. This is their second season in the Premier League, isn't it? So we the board. I remember watching a thing from the board where they're saying that they are prepared for second season syndrome. Second season syndrome is a thing. It exists. We see it happen to Norwich every year. To be fair. We see it happen to Norwich every year.
Syndrome.
In terms of that respect, every season syndrome. But Sheffield United, for example, second season syndrome. We've seen it happen with Bournemouth, second season syndrome. Loads of teams. This has happened to. The only people that seem to be avoiding it and have been avoiding it for the last couple of years is Burnley, and I don't know freaking how, but it looks like it potentially is going to catch up with them. It would be a shame for Leeds to meet the drop. I don't think they're going to sack Bielsa either, but I agree with you. I think he could potentially walk. There was rumours that he was looking to walk at the end of the Championship season, where they narrowly missed out on promotion. He stuck on, got them promoted. There was rumours coming out that he was looking to walk at the end of last year as well, because he wants to head back to South America or to Spain to manage over there. So I think the Bielsa project is kind of drawing to a close, and maybe a new man, some new ideas, a new vision is potentially needed to take them forward, because they are a breath of fresh air. It's good to have Leeds back in the Premier League. I'm a firm believer that there are certain clubs in England that belong in the Premier League. Leeds are one of them. Massive club. Although sometimes I do think that their supporters can be a bit scummy sometimes with some of the stuff that they say, but they are a huge club, synonymous.
They're an institution, aren't they?
With the Premier League.
The history of the club, Clough, all that business. Don Revie, they were the most successful team in the country, weren't they? Dirty Leeds, but no, I agree. I think Bielsa's style is what they needed, because they were rotten in the Championship in League One for a while. So 100%. They needed that energy to come up to the Prem. But the Premier League is much more like a chess match than a who can score the most goals. And unfortunately, I think Bielsa's time is drawing to a close, to be fair.
Yeah, and you mentioned institutions. Just to touch on that a little bit before we get into the meat and bones of the game. You got clubs like Villa back in the Premier League. It's good to see. Newcastle in the Premier League. Hopefully they survive. We've mentioned Leeds as well. They're an institution, but there's a few languishing in the Championship as well that really need to get up. And cement themselves back in the Premier League as well, because as I said, I do believe that some of these teams, they are institutions, exactly what you said there as well. But we could do a whole show on that. Maybe we do a show on that.
That's good to me.
Let's get into it. What the viewers are here for. Liverpool absolutely smashing home 6 against Leeds. So let's talk about the first goal. Obviously, it was a pen. It came kind of. We were in the ascendancy. At that point, we were dominating. We were dominating Leeds for possession. I don't think they barely ventured out of their own half. Talk us through how that first goal came about.
Yeah, so it's down the left hand side for Robertson. Putting his usual curling cross in, and at first look, I didn't sort of really realise what had happened. But when you look at the replay, the arms are up. It's unnatural. And unfortunately, it's blocked the cross, and it is a penalty in today's game. So, 15 minutes in, it's just what you need, isn't it? Against Leeds, they're in that kind of, do we push, do we not? It's 0-0. If we can keep it level for as long as possible, try and go for a goal every chance we get. And to be fair, Dan James had looked really good. I'll be honest. He caused Alisson a bit of trouble with his pressing, and he was a danger. He's really pacey. He's a lot quicker than I thought he was. So I was very impressed with him. Not quite as quick as Mo, but
we saw that from the United days.
That was a good race. That was, wasn't it? But yeah, like you say, it's a stonewall pen. I think it's Dallas with the handball. And when most walks up for the pen, nothing else is in your mind anymore, is it? I know he missed a couple in his first few seasons for Liverpool, but James Milner kind of used to take them, and I think realistically, Salah's now the main penalty taker, even if Milner's on the pitch. And fair play. It's a nice simple one into the bottom right hand corner, and he wheels away, and the start of a fantastic night.
Yeah, it doesn't really give the keeper any real chance, does he? When you put him down there, and then again, we kind of continued in the same vein. Pressing high up the park, winning the ball back. Some bits that were really good to see was the work rate from Diaz and from Salah. Sometimes popping up in the fullback positions, covering the runs of Trent and Robertson to get forward. I mean, Leeds play man for man across the whole entire pitch. Would that have been in Jurgen Klopp's thinking that we could potentially lose our markers or drag their defensive players out sort of their natural positions by our wingers dropping into the fullback positions, allowing our fullbacks to actually get into attacking positions? Because I'm sure Bielsa's not an idiot. He would know that we have the two best attacking fullbacks in Europe, if not in the world. So surely he wouldn't have known that he was going to get absolutely bombarded by Robbo and Trent in those high attacking positions.
Yeah, it's a really good point that you make. I actually noticed it a lot tonight that there was a lot of interchange of positions with the fullbacks and the midfielders. So there was times where Diaz was coming back and winning the ball back in his own half, and Robertson was kind of staying forward. And then in the second half, again, Robertson went forward and Curtis Jones just filled in at left back for a good couple of minutes, while Robertson was just like, I'm going to chill in midfield for a little while. And we've seen that teams like Bayern Munich have converted their fullbacks into midfielders, or kind of used them rather than just stay at left back when the ball's on the right hand side, come into the midfield, be at that extra centre midfielders. So that's how you dominate midfield. That's how you dominate games. You win the midfield battle. You get the most possession. So I was really impressed with that. And like you say, players like Diaz have just come in and he's just got it instantly. The identity of Liverpool, how we play, he's got it straight away. He did another similar thing tonight. Do you remember the Robertson run against City where he just pressed the next guy, and he won the hearts of Anfield in just that one run? And Diaz is showing the exact same, effort and energy levels, and he's already become a fan favorite after a couple of, less than a month really. So absolutely fantastic. And we saw it with the second goal, because Joel Matip's coming from the centre back position. You said it yourself. We've seen it time and time again this season where he's made one of those runs and he's had a chance, he's fluffed his kick or he's passed it, and we think that Matip goal's coming. Everybody knew, and the smile on Klopp's face when he puts that goal in, because he makes his run in, no one follows him, no one tracks him, out to Mo Salah. And to be fair to Salah, yes, he scored 2 pens, but he was heavily involved in a lot of the other goals. Some of his passing and his, the touch and the power on the pass was phenomenal. And Matip comes through 1-1 with the keeper, and the striker's finish, lifts it over the keeper and wheels away.
Now, me being a complete sado, I do subscribe to LFC Go and Liverpool Football TV and everything that is Liverpool related. He's been doing this in training for fun. Honestly, he's been doing it in training for fun. This isn't anything new. He does this every single day. This isn't a fluke. And this is the thing. Rival fans will go, he'll never score another one. He will. I can guarantee you it. I'll put my house on it that he bags again. In 100%. Exactly the same way. He's been making those runs, popping out of the centre-back position, carrying the ball and actually beating players. Now, you see the likes of Rudiger carry the ball forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just pure pace and power when he gets forward. Almost Yaya Toure-esque. And I admire it. I like the way that Rudiger brings the ball out. Because it's powerful, it's purposeful. But he doesn't have the same finesse that a Matip has. It's a different type of run. You see players like Ben White bringing the ball out as well. Again, not in the same kind of way that Matip does, because Matip doesn't get flustered. It's like, okay, press me. I'm going to drop the shoulder and go around you. Do you know what I mean? And you also see Harry Maguire doing very similar things, more in an England shirt than in a Manchester United shirt, because he has more license and more freedom to do it for England, because he's playing part of a 3, so his deficiencies don't get exposed. But that's another show. But Matip has been doing this consistently, and today he's got his rewards. The link-up play, Mohamed Salah, providing the assist. And like you said, it is literally a striker's finish. He comes onto it first time and leaves the keeper for dead. The keeper can't get set, and it's just slipped past him.
No, 100%. And You know, we take the mick out of him a little bit, don't we? Oh, he's going on an adventure, you know, the old Hobbit phrase. But no,
Yeah.
it's brilliant. And to be fair, I still think he's massively underrated. People are, you know, comparing, you know, Maguire versus Matip, and you're thinking it's a non-contest. It really is. Like, he's so much better. It's it's not, one of them was free
Mate.
and one of them was 80 million pounds. And you know, Man United are playing tonight, and you see João Felix put Atletico Madrid up, and that's Maguire's man, and he's left him, let him go. And again, it's Maguire's fault that United have conceded tonight. And you know, Joel Matip's got that in his locker. And I've been critical of Matip in the past, not just because of his injuries. You know, when he was centre back with Lovren, I didn't see a lot between them when they were both in the team together. I'll be honest, but every season he's really improved. And obviously he was a major part of the Champions League winning team. He was playing every week in that team, and that was when I thought, oh, okay, Matip's arrived now. And you know, again, he struggled with injuries. Gomez came into the team for the league winning season, and then Matip's got his place back. You know, the first day of the next season when we weren't sure who's going to start, Matip was straight in there, and he's not looked back. And you know, look at his record this season. He's barely missed a game. I think he missed one game from COVID. You know, that can't be helped. So keep going like this, mate. You know, team of the season then comes at the end of the season. I wouldn't put anyone else in there but our partnership.
I think it's a difficult one, and Virgil van Dijk makes so many things possible for so many people. So it can't be underpinned the fact that he's playing next to probably the best centre back in world football. It gives you freedom and license to do certain things when you know you've got Verge behind you. That confidence to bring the ball out, knowing that, do you know what? If I lose it, there's a big man back there that's probably going to mop it up. And he's going to give it back to me and say, go again. But also what's important is their friendship off the pitch between Van Dijk and Matip. That's what I'm saying. It's a blossoming partnership and friendship off the pitch as well, which makes it easier and all the more pleasurable for them both on the pitch. And like I said, Matip is heavily underrated. I've been watching Joel Matip since his Schalke days in the Bundesliga. And when we signed Joel Matip, it was like, yes, we've got a powerhouse of a centre back at the time when we signed Joel Matip. Obviously, in the early days, it wasn't as fruitful as it was, but I think that was more because of Lovren's deficiencies than of Matip's deficiencies. And the season where I really saw Matip kind of come into his own was the Community Shield. He played in that game and he was unreal in the Community Shield game where we narrowly lost out in that game. And then the injury happened. And like you said, Gomez came in and nailed it down and made it his own. But it's almost like Matip has done the same thing with Gomez. It's like, all right, mate, now you're injured. So I'm going to come in and make it my own. And Gomez has got a fight on his hands now. He's got a huge fight on his hands because you've got Matip, which is playing some serious ball. Yeah. And then you've got arguably one of the best young centre-backs in world football, in the Parisian Prince, who's just shutting it down every single time he plays. You know, so I don't, where does this, what we're just talking about Gomez, where does this leave Gomez? If Matip is going to keep putting his performances in, is Gomez going to be, he had to settle for a role at right back, and we know he can play there, but like you said, he's not a right back. He's a centre back. Yeah. We've got a World Cup coming up in the winter. Joe Gomez is arguably one of the best English centre backs. What does he do? Because if he doesn't get some serious game time, he ain't going World Cup, bro. He's not going World Cup. It's not happening. He's not. You
know, you look at the right backs that England have got at their disposal. You know, that's not a way to get game time for England, is it? Playing back up to Trent. So, you know, Walker, James, Trippier, it's a close shop. So for me, you're right. You know, even when everybody's fit at the moment, Gomez is fourth choice centre back, and he will be at the start of next season as well, because, you know, it looks like we're going to have some success this season. You know, we're going to have a pretty big change in form to not win some serious silverware this year, the way we're going.
Don't jinx it.
I'll try not to. But you're right. You know, Matip versus Konate with a Van Dijk is the remainder of the season. Gomez might play in the FA Cup against Norwich, and then if we get through that, depending on the draw again. But you're right, that's not going to be enough, is it? So I think he'll see out the season with Liverpool, because obviously, you know, the January window is gone. We chose to let Nat Phillips go instead and keep Gomez as the fourth choice. But yeah, you know, if I was him, I'd look at the summer and I'd have a serious sit down with Jurgen Klopp and say, I get it. I'm fourth choice. I understand that. I don't want to be a backup right back. That's not my position, especially in this Liverpool team, the way that the fullbacks play. So I'd be looking at a loan move at least in the summer, but I wouldn't want to let him go completely because, Van Dijk and Matip are approaching 30. Gomez and Ibu should be the partnership going forwards, but I just think it needs game time. You look at the players that play week in, week out in the Premier League. It's players like Tyrone Mings, Harry Maguire, some of these centre-backs that get 90 minutes twice a week, and Gomez is getting peanuts, and he's better than all of them. So I'd love to see him go out, rediscover his form, have a whole season playing for a top 10 club and go, I'm back, guys. And then the following season, he's really, really knocking on the door because Matip is another year older. So that's what I'd like to see happen.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I mean, is there a case to say that the injury and the injury he got was a nasty one?
It was bad.
It was a bad injury. It was when the muscle detaches from the bone. It was a bad injury. He seems like he's lost a yard of pace as well. Is it fair to say that the injury has had a bigger impact on Joe than it has than the injury that Van Dijk's had? Because Van Dijk seems like he's just slotted back in. Everyone was saying, "Oh, he's lost a yard of pace." We saw how he finished off all like in the last game.
I thought Rafinha was in the second half, and Van Dijk was just like, "No, he's not."
Yeah, mate. Rafinha was smoking. If he thought he was beating him, and this is what I'm saying.
Everything. He was just like, "Nah, mate, sorry."
Yeah, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's lost a yard of pace." Well, no, he's just not needed to put the afterburners on anybody because the positional awareness has been unreal. His positional awareness is better than it ever has been. And now when he has got a bit caught out, he's gone, all right, well, you know what, guys, I've still got the pace, so let's just dust him off.
Use it if I need it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I just think from a Joe Gomez perspective, especially with the Winter World Cup coming up in December this year, the only saving grace that he has got is Maguire's playing shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Stones can't get a look in.
Stones can't get a look in after going from being the golden boy of Manchester City to now going back to not even getting a look in terms of game time. Yeah. There's that's a saving grace. Our centre back partnerships or our centre back pairings are all kind of in the same place with their careers. So Gareth has said this before. He doesn't mind giving international players international games to get game time. So that might save Gomez's sort of World Cup aspirations in that respect. Daddy Pig makes a great comment here as well.
Yeah, I could not agree with that anymore. Honestly, that does my head in. Chewing gum. They've let it go and he's just like, yeah, it's so annoying.
The thing is though, listen, let's look at some 3D chess here. And the reason why I say 3D chess because Gomez ain't playing games. Yeah. Your boy John Stones ain't playing games. Yeah. Harry Maguire is playing, but he's just being a shithouse.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, Connor Cody's the top of the list for me at the moment.
That's
all right, okay. Isn't it?
All right, okay. Connor Cody, yes. Okay. But Tyrone Mings might be starting in the World Cup.
I know. You're actually right. He's not even Aston Villa's best defender. They've got that the other one. Yeah, he's miles better than him.
This is what I'm saying. Could you imagine that because Gomez ain't getting no games, Harry Maguire shit, fucking Connor Cody potentially is gonna get overlooked.
Yeah.
Your boy Mings is going World Cup, bro. Your boy Mings is going World Cup.
If Gomez just goes to a 6th to 12th team in the summer, from August to December, like you make a good point that the World Cup comes 6 months early.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a saving grace for him.
That's all he needs. He gets in there. But you're right with the injury and the injury question. Van Dijk has been a colossus. He got the worst injury, but he had a whole year to recuperate. He did everything perfectly, and that was the one injury. Gomez has had, 3 serious injuries now, all around the leg, the knee. Fractures, broken bones, reconstructive surgery on his knee. And I agree with you. For a young player to have that many impact injuries is hard. It's going to weigh you down, and you aren't going to be the same athlete as you were before. You just can't be. So there's still a player there for sure. He's nowhere near what he could have been, because I think this player without these injuries could have been serious levels. But is he good enough for a Liverpool first team for the rest of his career, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because when Van Dijk goes, can Gomez step into those shoes, or do you go into the market and get the next 27-year-old that's out there playing for Southampton and the like that can make that step up? And for me, I think that's probably what they'll do.
Yeah, I do think we'll dip into the market, regardless of whether Gomez stays or Gomez goes. I think I can see us dipping into the market for a centre back, you know, a young centre back, that can come in. And another, yeah, just to provide a little bit of pressure, because like you said, Matip's not getting any younger. He and again, let's not forget he's injury prone as well. He does have, you know, Matip's, and this is what I was saying at the start of the season. Everyone's going, "Oh, he's fit." I'm like, listen, guys, relax. He's only one game away from an abductor. Yeah, just
we were saying, weren't we? Because we were trying to predict the order of the centre backs at the start of the season.
Yeah.
We watched all the pre-season games, and Van Dijk wasn't quite back yet, so we were like, well, he won't start. He'll ease his way in. First game, boom, Van Dijk, Matip. You think, okay, because I thought Matip would be like the fourth choice. You know, we can rely on him to be backup of the backup. You know, once a month he can play because he's never really reliable. But you know, you're spot on. He comes in first game, boom, this is me, and he's not looked back. And Konate's got the odd game here and there, but you know, really, it's been Matip and Van Dijk for about 80% of the time, maybe even higher.
But like I said, you know, Konate's not come to hug a bench.
No, he's not.
He's not come to hug that bench. So, guys, look, thank you for your comments. Keep getting those in as well. This is an interesting one, as well. And I've said this. I've been very, very open. Even with Edwards gone, Diaz signing gives hope for the analytics department. Let's be very, very clear. And I've said this from the get-go. Yeah, and you know, others are saying this. Is not just me. Other what you would call top Reds. Are saying this, that Julian Ward is not afraid to splash the cash if it makes financial sense, you know, to the club. He will spend the money. The Diaz signing proves that. It proves that. You know, it's not a normal kind of level of signing you would associate with Liverpool in a January transfer window. That level of funds being spent. Obviously, the Jota signing 45 M's, but it was 5 M's up front and then 5 on Chucky. You know, like I say, on the Bright House. Like I say,
I love that.
It was the remainder on the Bright House. So you know, it was very, very creative in terms of how we went out to market with that signing, but we're not scared to obviously spend that money on the Julian Ward, and I think the summer will be shaping up really, really well in terms of potential signings coming in. And you know, incomings and outgoings. So let's flick back into the game as we've digressed. Talk to us about the fourth goal.
Third goal. Yeah. So again, it's Mo Salah involved again. It's a very similar pass to the one he plays Matip in with, but this time it's Sadio Mane running through, and it's one of them. You know, Mane through the middle is an interesting one, isn't it? Because we're missing Firmino, we're missing Jota. So usually it would be one of those with Diaz, Salah, or Mane wide, or you know, even Jota wide as well. So it was interesting to see what he do, because you've been quite an advocate of Salah through the middle, and you know, with the goals that he likes to score, you know, you would usually expect that to happen. But the fact that Diaz likes playing off the left, Mane isn't really great off the right. It kind of made sense to play Mane through the middle with Mo in his usual place, and he looked devastating. He was great. You know, to see. You're a Leeds defender, you know, you're not the greatest defense ever, and you've got Diaz, Mane, and Salah running at you. Like, bloody hell! Like, what do you do? You know, do you press Mo? Do you double up on Salah? Do you double up on Diaz? Do you leave Mane for a second? You can't leave any of them. And you know, he's running through on goal. They're already the wrong side of him. You let him score, or you bring him down. And you know, they chose the latter. And again, Mo steps up, goes the same way, lifts it slightly higher this time. But again, it's just relentless, and Liverpool pretty much 3-0 up and cruising from that point.
Yeah, you know, as I said, my key thing is with this Liverpool front line at the moment is that it's interchangeable.
Yeah,
it's not predictable. You don't know who's going to be playing where at any given time. You know, is it going to be Mo going through the middle? Is it going to be Jota going through the middle? You know, is it going to be Fabinho? Oh, sorry, Firmino. Is it going to be Sadio? Is it going to be Diaz? You know, is it going to be Firmino? We've got so many options, and the other thing as well is they're interchangeable during the game.
Yeah,
the rotation and movement during the game is unreal. Sometimes Mo was coming central, Sadio was drifting right. The only one that I didn't see really drift from that left-hand position
he did
was
stick out there.
Diaz.
Yeah,
He kind of stuck there, but that's because he was getting success. He was
don't need to move that.
terrorizing.
He was brilliant tonight.
terrorizing. Yeah, and that's the thing. We now have options, but the options that we have are interchangeable. You know, at any given time, we're going to be able to put a lineup out that we trust to go and get a result.
Yeah, exactly. It gives us options, and that's something that we've not had for a long time. And you know, even when we've had the front three, or again the addition of the front four, again it's been which three are fit, which one's injured, and they play. You know, your Mane's left, your Bobby is your middle, and your Salah is your right, and it became a little bit predictable. So I couldn't agree with you more. Interchangeable from the start, during the game, and depending on the opposition, which is great. That's how you win different types of matches against different opponents.
I totally agree with you. And the key thing is this just for now, or is this forever? That's my only caveat on this. Is this just for now, or is it forever? Yeah. Are we going to keep Firmino, Mane, Salah? We have to. Diaz has obviously just arrived, and Jota's just arrived. Or are we going to see one of those depart? Which is not what I want. There are others which I feel could be and should be on the chopping board before any of those are. You know, those guys are adding real value. They're adding real value. You know, are we gonna go in? You know, the Salah contract is still looming. Mane's coming towards the end of his contract. 18 months left on the deal. Firmino's got 18 months left on the deal. I would rather see us sacrifice, you know, the wages of a Divock Origi to then go to those two. Here you go, boys. Here's an increase. Yeah, here's an increase. We don't need to replace Divock because you've just brought in Diaz. Yeah, exactly. So there you go, boys. We want to keep you around until the end of your days. Yeah, you're 30, you're 31, 32, whatever it is. Yeah, I feel you've got another two years left in you. There's a 2-year extension. Yeah, there you go, boys. A little bit of a pay rise off your trot. And then you've got Taki, who is adding value in the cup competitions. Yeah, so a combination of you play a Jota, Diaz, and a Taki in a cup competition, knowing that you've got to go out and play again on a Tuesday night. Then Firmino, Mane, and Salah line up on a Tuesday night, knowing full well you then got to go and kick a ball again on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? You can play a combination of them. It gives opportunity. But Divock came on today and looked bright.
Yeah,
he looked bright, but it could be a little bit too late for Divock Origi because he's just not getting a look in, especially with the arrival of Diaz. Obviously, I appreciate he's been injured, but he's not getting a look in at the moment.
No, he's a long way down the pecking order, isn't he now?
Oh, definitely. So talk to us about the next goal.
Yeah, so this one was my favourite one of the night. So Leeds goalkeeper, obviously, bit of a scuff on the kick out. Henderson comes on for Thiago, which I think we expected. Both of them feeling their way back into the 90 minutes of matches. You know, Thiago was brilliant again tonight. He was the man that made all the difference in the last game. He was absolutely sensational. And yeah, today he looked great for an hour. That's all we needed from him. You know, you don't need to keep him going for 90 minutes in a game that's already won with a cup final at the weekend. So I think they both shared the game today. I think they'll probably both start the final, if I'm honest, with Fabinho in there as well. So it was good to see them both get a run out. And Henderson comes on, had a little bit of criticism recently with performances and availability. But again, every time he comes on, he makes things happen. And he came on in the last game and was involved in a goal. And again, he's the guy that picks up the loose ball, plays it into Mo Salah. Salah does the reverse ball back to Hendo down the right-hand side. First time ball across, perfect ball for Mane. Roof of the net, happy days. So great substitution, great move, great goal. And that's my favourite kind of Liverpool goal. When you see 3 or 4 players involved, boom, 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 one touch passing. It's unstoppable against Leeds, Man City, whoever you want to play. So yeah, that was my favourite one of the night. And once it was a little bit of a resurgence from Leeds, but between that, there was sort of from half time to about 65th minute, you know, the usual little, the game's kind of gone. They don't want to get battered. We're happy to chill. But that was a really good goal. And it definitely kind of epitomised what this Liverpool team is all about, really.
So let's just touch on the Henderson thing.
Yeah, good point.
Is it now? Are we needing to be more selective with the games that we play him in? I felt like that was a thing today. We were selective, not necessarily because of the cup final coming up. I feel because he's had a few injuries. It's almost as if it takes me back to a comment, right, that Sir Alex Ferguson made.
Oh, the running.
Yes, that it will cause him problems later on in his career in terms of muscular injuries.
Mm.
Is there some substance to that? Because we're seeing him suffer with muscular injuries.
Yeah.
Lower back seems to be a problem
Yeah.
with him. So can we sit here and say that, and respect, we're huge Liverpool fans, but you have to respect Sir Alex Ferguson and what he's done.
Of course.
Is there substance to what the great Sir Alex Ferguson has said? Is that, his running style is going to cause him problems later on in his career? Are we now witnessing that with Jordan Henderson? Not to say that his career is over and he can't play at that level anymore and blah, 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 blah. We just might need to be a little bit more selective with the games that we play him in and the amount of minutes that he gets. We saw, like you said, we saw it with Thiago and him. They've shared those minutes. I think Thiago is the same.
Yeah.
Look at the game Thiago played today. We took him off at 70 minutes, but he bossed the game for 70 minutes. He was everywhere. Athletic, purposeful, tracking, knitting things together, passing. The commentary on Liverpool Football TV said it today as well, that he plays a different game to what everybody else is seeing. He sees something different to what everybody else is seeing. The picture that he's painting is different to what everybody else is painting. He controlled that game.
Yeah.
So are we going to see Thiago and Henderson potentially share minutes, or are we going to see all three of them in terms of Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho share minutes? Because on the weekend when Hendo came on, right, and he dropped into that CDM position.
Looked great, didn't he?
He looked sensational. But I think that was against the opposition. Against the Burnley,
I do.
You can play him there.
Yeah.
Against the Chelsea, who's going to have a combative midfielder in terms of, and 2/8 in terms of Kante and Kovacic, Hendo would get torn apart at CDM. Let's be honest. Yeah.
No, I think you're spot on. Of course, Ferguson, he does talk a lot of sense. I think it might have been harsh to say that he's, that's the reason he didn't sign him, because you look at Man United's midfield, even towards the end of his career, and they would have loved a Jordan Henderson now. But for me, he's kind of evolved as a player, because for me, in his younger days, when Liverpool were looking at getting rid of him, he in terms of footballing ability, he wasn't up there. The reason he was where he was is because of his commitment, his leadership, his communication, his athleticism. And because he plays like a manager would if they were on the pitch. You can imagine Jurgen Klopp in that midfield would be buzzing about like Jordan Henderson, shouting at every single player constantly. There was that game where no fans were, and you could hear Jordan Henderson talk through the whole game. He did not stop for a second. Every single thing, whether it's a throw-in, a corner, a goal kick, he's non-stop. So that makes him who he is. That makes him, and that's the reason why he's a leader and a captain of one of the most successful clubs on the planet. So for me, he's now obviously coming towards the twilight of his career, if you like. You can't run for 90 minutes twice a week.
No,
you just can't do it. He's massively improved as a footballer. His actual ability, his vision, his passing, his assists. He's even started to score some goals at the end of last season, where he would never score in his first few seasons for Liverpool. He would be like Lucas Leiva, but he's the goal, header against Wolves last season. He's picked up some decent strikes. The one against Chelsea comes to mind as well. So I think he's evolved his game, and within that, he's almost become a lesser Thiago. Yes, they are very different players, but you have to manage the minutes very similarly. So again, it comes down to options. It comes down to who you're playing against. It comes down to what matches have we got this week. We've got a final on Sunday, right? So you want Henderson, Thiago and Fabinho from the start. So the game 4 days before, you can play them half and half. Fabinho is a little bit younger than them, a little bit healthier, a little bit fitter. He's a bit more consistent. So playing in that CDM role is a little bit more of a Van Dijk Rolls Royce. You only really need to turn it on when you need to. But playing in that midfield, it takes a lot more out of you. And you can see why Liverpool are so stacked in that position, because we play such a high intensity game. We've almost tried to evolve ourselves as a club and become more possession based, which was kind of the reason Thiago came in. And I think Henderson has tried to adapt his game to that. So I agree. I think if those two can share minutes throughout the games against the Leeds, the Burnleys, the Newcastles, the Aston Villas of this world, you don't need them to play 90 minutes, both of them every week. you've got the Curtis Jones, the Elliots that you can bring in for that energy, for that midweek game. And then when the big games come, you go back to your tried and tested. So, yeah, I think that's a fantastic position to be in. Henderson and Thiago, both massively successful in their own right, both very, very different in terms of styles. But, they can definitely share those minutes because that's the only thing that they both see as a weakness now. They're coming into their 30s and it's just they just can't play that minutes. And if they do, they get these little niggle injuries. So let's use them wisely. And when we really need them to put a 90-minute shift in, like Sunday, you can go and win a trophy.
This is correct.
Yeah. What, they 30 and 31?
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is with Thiago, because he's been around for forever. Yeah. People overlook how young he actually is. In terms of mate, I'm older than Thiago. That's crazy.
We both are, aren't we?
this is what I'm saying. That's crazy. That's why I'm Thiago's father.
You've got a few more grays than me, though. I'll just shave mine off.
Yeah, dude, I can't lie. I found one in the beard the other day. God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're all starting to come
right
out. Yeah, they're all starting to come down along the side of the fade. Yeah, man. Oh god, it's you lot stressing me out. Never mind. So, as we're heading towards the tail end of the show, let's discuss the last couple of goals. So, what are we up to? We're up to number 4. So, number 5.
Yes. So Lord Divock. Football is nothing without Origi. Yeah. So he comes through. I'm not sure he plays the ball. I can't remember now, but he's pretty much one-on-one with the goalie. Takes a little bit too long to decide what to do, which is understandable for someone that's been
standard.
Yeah, he's been out for a little while, isn't he? So he's lost a little bit of the match fitness, but does enough. Comes off the defender, I think, in the end, and Sadio Mane's got a nice and simple kind of half volley, kind of bounces up for him, and he finishes into an empty net. So Sadio Mane's second of the night. Happy days. It's good to see him and Salah come back into the team after the AFCON, passing to each other, because I think there was, it's always the media trying to stir it up, isn't it? There was that incident when Mane had the penalty in the final, in the actual game itself, and Salah's doing that to the goalie, telling him where he's going to go, and then Mane comes up to do it as well, and you think, oh, I don't want some Rooney, Ronaldo kind of thing going on here, but now, the respect,
that, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We touched on it, and the respect after the game, both going over to each other, having a chat was excellent to see, and they've both come back and said, you know what, let's win everything we can. There's been issues in the past where Salah's been a little bit greedy, but to see Mane and Salah both on the score sheet twice. Mane I've been critical of in the past for not scoring enough goals, and when you compare him to Mo Salah, it's understandable. Nobody does, do they? But if they can both start to get braces and scoring consistently, we're going to be seriously hard to beat. And you've got Mane winning the penalty for Salah, you've got Salah setting him up. If they can start to set each other up, once, twice, 3 times a game, we're going to be getting some more 5-6-0 wins against the bottom half of the league. And like you said, on WhatsApp, come up against Chelsea. If you've got a front three of Diaz, Mane, Salah again, I'd be worried even as Chelsea's back 5, because that is lethal.
We'll touch on that in a moment, because that's obviously the next game up.
It is.
So we'll touch on that in a moment. I mean, and then obviously we get into the last goal, which was a VVD header. Corner comes in, Verge is prowling, and it's almost like a carbon copy of the Maguire situation. They've just left him unmarked.
Yeah, very similar.
Just to nod it home, and it's just a sheer power on a header that beats the goalkeeper. To be fair, and again, it's a great header from Virgin. It's good to see him on the score sheet as well. He loves obviously bagging a goal as well and getting involved with the rest of the guys. Also, so everything's all good in the hood. We've closed. We're chasing down Manchester City. We go to the Etihad in April. If we can keep winning up until then, that's going to be a powerhouse of a game. That is going to be a power. If we go to the Etihad within 3 points of Manchester City, ahead of them on goal difference, a fully fit Liverpool squad, a fully fit Manchester City squad, game of the season is happening, mate. Game of the season. It is going to be a powerhouse of a game. There'll be nothing left. There'll be nothing left on the table.
That's the revenge tour of all revenge tours, isn't it? You know, the John Stones off the line. What was it? A millimeter away from going in. If you go there and win that game, not just the 3 points on the night, but the momentum shift that gives for the remainder of the season. You look at the next two games; they're not even in the Prem. We've got the EFL Cup, we've got the FA Cup, and then we've got home to West Ham, which for me is a little bit of rivalry and revenge on that one as well.
I don't want to be the one that goes, it's coming, it's happening, we're gonna win it. I don't want to do that. But tonight, and obviously after the weekend, it felt like, when you feel a shift, in the momentum. When you know what I mean. When you feel it. Like, honestly, I sat there and I watched the Spurs game, the City Spurs game, and I watched it with my youngest Thiago.
Yeah.
And
what a legend.
No word of a lie. Like, it was chilling. Like, you felt a shift. And then tonight as well, you just, with us going ahead in terms of goal difference, you also feel the balance of power shift. But we've obviously got the small issue of a League Cup final against Chelsea. City now have quite an extended period of rest because they don't play a league fixture.
Do they not?
No, they don't play a league fixture. Obviously, they're not in the League Cup. Unless they have one rearranged and sandwiched into schedule. From what I can see, they don't play a league fixture.
Yes, they got Everton Saturday evening away.
Okay, so they've got Everton Saturday evening, right? And then the next one after that is for them.
Probably FA. Are they in the FA Cup? I think it's a midweek round of FA Cup matches next week as well. So I would imagine. I think they got Peterborough away, so that would be like Man City's E team.
This is what I'm saying. they've got a period of rest, really, of respite coming up. We cannot rely on Everton to do fuck all.
No, and then they've got the Manchester derby the weekend after.
That's the game. That if they're gonna drop anything, that's the game. Yeah. Because Everton ain't gonna take fuck all off them. Let's be fair. No, Everton can't even fucking do their shoelaces up at the moment. Fuck me. I've never. Do you know what? Just touch on it. I've never seen it so bad for Everton. Let's be fair.
It's shocking.
It's shocking. Their years of reckless spending and stupidity is now starting to catch up on them. They've got this new stadium which they're building. But there might be a championship team by the time it opens.
Literally, the same games played as Burnley, 2 points ahead, and a lot of people would say Burnley were goners. So,
could you imagine if Everton get relegated? Surely that's just a reason to party. Full stop. If Everton get relegated,
like you say, Everton's next game is Man City. They ain't getting nothing out of it. If Burnley or Newcastle pick up a win, slowly, 17th and 18th, they could be there. They could be there this weekend. They could be in the bottom three. Mental, isn't it?
And even better, could the man to get them relegated be Frank Lampard?
Good Lord. That was a big shout because, when you're in that kind of situation, we've seen it before, the merry-go-round of managers. I think even Everton brought in Sam Allardyce, didn't they? It was totally against what they wanted to do, but he did what they needed. And to bring in someone that's never, ever, ever been in a relegation battle in their life to try and save you when relegation, when you've got that much money on that many players, on that many wages, is literally going to cripple you from the inside. That was a big, big call. And bringing in players like Dele Alli to keep you up and have a battle and work hard. Absolutely having a laugh, aren't you?
So hold on, let's deep this that a little bit further, just for the light entertainment of the viewers.
I do enjoy an Everton bashing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think we all enjoy an Everton bashing. So as it stands, Everton could potentially be entering a relegation battle.
Yeah,
which means they could potentially get relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah.
If Everton get relegated from the Premier League, they'll be managed in the Championship by Frank Lampard, who many laud as one of the greatest midfielders of all time. Meanwhile, the greatest midfielder of all time is still managing in the Premier League with Aston Villa.
Mate, I mean, Burnley have got their game in hand. Burnley have got Palace and who's the other one? I think it's Leicester. So if they pick up, 2 points, 3 points, they're above Everton. If Newcastle carry on picking up results, they're above Everton. So yeah, they literally could be sitting in the relegation zone after this weekend. Newcastle play Brentford. So if Newcastle win, if Burnley get a couple of draws in their game, 2 games, Everton on Monday or Sunday night, or when is it? I think it's Tuesday. Burnley play Leicester. So Tuesday night, potentially Everton could be 18th. That's a real possibility right now. That's not even. There's not that many ifs and buts in there. Like Newcastle can get something at Brentford, Burnley can get something out of Leicester and Palace. Everton aren't beating Man City. It's happening. Imagine we win the league and they get relegated. Best season ever,
dude. Could
oh my!
Could you look? Let's just be a fly on the wall between a phone call between maybe like Gerrard and Lampard.
God,
it's going to be like So, how does it feel to be a Championship player?
Do you want to borrow El Ghazi?
Yeah, I got some players which I'm trying to offload that could get you back up. Do you fancy them?
Just borrow some of these guys. Oh my word!
Oh, sweet Lord!
It's going to be an interesting run-in because, like you say, Leeds aren't out of it, Brentford aren't out of it. But yeah, like you say, are Everton going to be in a relegation battle? They bloody are already.
They're in a relegation battle already. Let's be fair. And I think ultimately from a Liverpool perspective, because that's what we're here to discuss. I'm cheering for Everton to take points off City, whether it be just whether it be a shithouse draw or they get a win. On Saturday we're all blue, I'm sure, and then we quickly flick back to being red on Sunday. Let's just quickly preview the League Cup final. Where we'll start is starting lineups.
Yeah, so I mean, I've kind of looked at I've looked. It's a good question, isn't it? It's
goalkeeper to start.
I would do Alisson every day of the week, but I got a sneaky feeling it's Kelleher.
Okay,
and he's not playing for ages either, is he?
So Kelleher starts. All their comments of it will be unfair to him. It's Queven's competition, all of that. Yeah, so Kelleher starts.
Do you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go Ali, and Kelleher plays Norwich in the FA Cup.
You think?
I hope. That's no disrespect, but we have not won a League Cup for 10 years. It's time.
You said it's time. I think that Queven starts.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
It'll be a big call, but I think he starts. So Queven starts. Cool. Who's going left back?
I think it's your standard back 4.
You think?
Yeah, same as today.
I don't.
You thinking Ibu? Yeah. Or are you thinking Costas?
I'm thinking. Well, no. You were talking about if you went standard back 4. I'm thinking Robbo plays. I'm thinking Van Dijk plays. I'm thinking Konate plays, and I'm thinking that Trent obviously plays.
Yeah, wouldn't be against that at all. It's nice that we've got options where they can come one in, one out, and it's not really that different. Big call though in a final.
Konate's a powerhouse. I think he could keep. If they play Lukaku, he keeps Lukaku quiet. He's pocketed Lukaku already. Yeah, so I think he keeps Lukaku quiet. Yeah. If they play him, if they play Havertz as well, I think he keeps Havertz quiet as well. He pockets Havertz. Also, let's talk about that midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I've seen what we've seen today. I think Fabinho's fine. I think Hendo and Thiago have both saved some minutes to start. Whether they'll both play 90 minutes against Chelsea is probably unlikely. But I think they both start.
I don't know if we see both of them start.
I don't know how many. Is it 5 subs in the League Cup? Gives you a little bit more.
I'm not sure.
Might
be. I think personally, Thiago starts, and Henderson comes on later on.
Oh, so who starts in there for you?
Fabinho, Thiago.
It's a tough one, that.
Who's the third?
Because Naby's not featured again for today. You think, oh,
He's
I
probably
can't see anybody that didn't even feature today starting Sunday. Like they had to have at least been involved.
to get some minutes.
Coming to a final cold is a strange one.
Who started alongside Thiago
It was
tonight?
Curtis, wasn't it? Young Curtis Jones. Well, that's a big call if he starts. And we've seen Harvey miss out tonight, which is a surprise. Completely. Milner comes on over Elliott.
Maybe you're right, Fabinho and Henderson, because you want Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago because you want to get to grips of that. I watched the Chelsea game on the other day. Kante looked rampant.
He did.
He looked rampaging.
Yeah,
like he was a man possessed. He was everywhere, and I've not seen that Kante since for a long while. He was everywhere.
Yeah, no, he was man of the match performance.
And interestingly enough, Kovacic went off injured, and didn't look the same rampaging Kovacic that you normally see. But yeah, Kante was like, okay, well, if he ain't going to do it, I'm going to do both jobs. I'll cover every blade of grass, and that's what we saw. So yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think Henderson and Thiago play just to get control of that midfield, as well. Strikers. This is the difficult one because we've got fucking options. Yeah, who starts? Who's that front three?
I think based on fitness, availability, and the 50-50 over if Jota or Firmino will be available, probably Jota's slightly ahead in terms of coming back before Firmino. So I think it will still be Diaz, Mane, Salah. We might see Jota off the bench if he's ready, but I think he mentioned that Firmino was out for a little while, which could be a little bit too soon for him this weekend.
Could you imagine Diaz bags in the League Cup final?
Love that.
Could you imagine Diaz? Could you imagine Diaz twists, Azpilicueta and bags in a League Cup final, bro?
Yeah. The headline I want to see, because if Konate starts, you're going to get Caribou, aren't you? Because of his little nickname, not Carabao.
Yeah,
that could be decent.
Yeah. Mate,
Mate,
I'm here for Diaz twisting. I'm here for Diaz twisting Azpilicueta. The reason why I'm here for Diaz twisting Azpilicueta is just to bury this myth that these Chelsea fans have that Azpilicueta is top tier. He's not fucking top tier. Yeah, he's just been part of a successful team. He's not top tier. Yeah, so everyone just needs to bury this and dispel this myth that Azpilicueta is a top freaking right back. He's never has been a top right back. That's why he plays right centre back. Yeah, because he's not a top right back. Let's be clear.
Yeah, I agree. He's very specific to that role, isn't he? Because he's not really got the pace for a right back, and he's not tall enough for a centre back. He's perfect in that right centre back role.
Yeah. Because and to be fair, in terms of his positional awareness is good. But when people talk about him, I remember talking to one Chelsea fan going, "Oh, the most underrated fullback in the Premier League is Azpilicueta." I was like, "Slap your mum, bruv."
Well, a minute ago they were saying Reece James was the best right back. Make your mind up.
This is what I'm saying.
God,
this is what I'm saying. Chelsea
fans, isn't it, mate?
Oh, mate, I know, mate. You father a Chelsea fan. I don't know how you do it.
I did. Yeah, he's one of the good ones, though. He appreciates players. Like he says, Trent's to go. You know, he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, he has no choice. And unfortunately,
and
unfortunately, my brother's a Chelsea fan. Jesus.
Yeah, we've both got them close to home, haven't we?
At least one of us was raised right. But we digress. Mum and Dad, if you're watching this, I blame you.
Fair enough.
For a number of things, including Ryan being a Chelsea fan. But we are where we are. I mean, we've just basically named our starting lineup for the League Cup. That team is good enough to win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really close game, and I honestly think the Ali Kelleher situation, as much as I rate Quivine, if it goes to pens, and I know he's been involved in a penalty shootout win in this competition as well, but Alisson is streets ahead, isn't he? So could they have a little convo and say, yes, we appreciate it, but we've got Wednesday. Ali's going to play this weekend, and then you're in for the rest of the FA Cup instead. It's harsh because they've called it his competition, but Alisson did actually feature, didn't he, in one of the Arsenal semi-finals as well. So it's not like it's not happened already. So I hope Ali comes in because that team that we've named, Matip or Konate is not really a big deal, but the rest of it we're pretty strong and pretty certain on. That's going to win.
It's a tough one. It
is tough.
You're right. The league, this could hinge around the goalkeeper selection, really, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And again, you and I were discussing off air that this is a pivotal time in terms of the Jurgen Klopp kind of dynasty.
Trophies.
Time's running out. Jurgen Klopp isn't going to be here forever. We've had 7 years of Jurgen Klopp already, and if we're all being fair, the trophies we've run up until now under one of the greatest managers in world football, if not the greatest manager in world football, isn't enough. It's not enough. I'm not going to sit here and jazz it up and sex it up for everybody. It's not enough. And this isn't a slur on Jurgen Klopp. This isn't a slur on his Liverpool team. We're in a league where Manchester City have been phenomenal. So, credit and kudos to Manchester City, credit and kudos to Pep Guardiola. We're in a league where you've got a team that can buy who they want, year on year, spend 100 million in terms of combined transfer fees all on one player. How many teams can go into the market and keep changing their fullbacks? And again, this isn't me sitting here slurring Manchester City. If you've got the money to do it, do it. That's what's at your disposal. It leaves no displeasure or distaste in my mouth. That's just how they go about their business. They've scaled up in 10 years where others have scaled up in 20. So at some point, they're going to have to get to a period where they have to level out and not have that level of expenditure year on year. It's just never going to work. Regardless of how much money you have, how big your bank account is, it's going to get to a point where you can't keep doing that. You've got to start looking at the youth and investing in your squad for the longevity. And I feel that Manchester City are approaching that. You look at some of their players in terms of Kevin De Bruyne and the age of Kevin De Bruyne, the age of Bernardo Silva, the age of Riyad Mahrez. They're moving towards their 30s. But they have some able deputies coming through in terms of, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. They've got some decent. They've just signed that kid from Argentina, from River Plate from Argentina as well. So they are looking. And Raheem Sterling's still only 26. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. So they are kind of turning their attention towards what the future does hold. So Liverpool have just got to be in a position where we can capitalize and take advantage of this Jurgen Klopp era. We don't want to sit here and say, we play great football, but we won fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We want to be able to say the football was amazing and this is the list of honours which we won in this period of time.
100%.
And that's what it's about. We spoke about doubles, trebles, quadruples, retaining. Yeah. That's what this Liverpool team needs to do now. That's the next step. Can we win a trophy? Yeah, and then can we retain it? Or can we, instead of win one trophy, can we win two? Can we get a Prem and a League Cup? Can we get a Champions League and an FA Cup? Can we get a Premier League and a Champions League? Can we fucking get all four? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the level.
Put it this way: who starts in goal for Chelsea, Kepa or Mendy?
To be fair, Kepa, for me, he was an able deputy when Mendy was away at the African Cup of Nations. He did not put a foot wrong. He did not put a foot wrong. I think Kepa, and I think Kepa's starting to settle, and it is literally a crying shame for him that they've gone into the market and brought Edouard Mendy, and Edouard Mendy's come in for a nominal fee in comparison to the Kepa fee and has done really, really well. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Club World Cup. He's now won the African Cup of Nations. Mendy's done some really, really good things in his time. Since he's come to England, But he's still not a shade on Alisson Becker, because Alisson Becker done all that as well. You know, Champions League,
Yeah.
he won
Copa
Premier
America.
League, Copa America, you know, Golden Glove. So Mendy is mimicking what Becker has done already. So you know, people will say that Mendy's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Let's be honest, he's not, because Chelsea are where they are and Liverpool are where they are. You know,
I
so
still think Mendy starts
he's not.
Sunday. Chelsea are, you know, they're built to win as many trophies as possible. And over the last 10 years, you can't really argue that they are, you know, alongside City, they've won the most amount of trophies.
Mm-hmm.
They just have. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're not going to start. I'll be very surprised if they started to bring in some players that have got them there. I think they go full strength, and I think we have to too.
I think Tuchel will go full strength, because for him, one of the motivating factors is this Jurgen Klopp monkey on his back. You
Yeah,
know,
true.
in Germany, he is kind of referred to as what we call a B-Tech Klopp. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Klopp prototype. You know, do you know what I mean? He's from
Yeah.
the school of Klopp.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember he's moved very, very quickly to distance himself and say, me and Jurgen aren't anything like each other. You know, yes, our careers follow similar paths, but he always points to well, I went to PSG. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
that move to PSG was really to come out of Jurgen Klopp's shadow. You did that to step out of Jurgen Klopp's shadow. That's what you did, because you did Mainz, you did Borussia, and it was like, right, I need to step out of this man's shadow, or else I'm forever going to be called B-Tech Klopp. You still are B-Tech Klopp, but never mind. We move. Look, we're going to draw the close to a show. Thank you guys in the comments as well. It's much appreciated. Liverpool roll up to Anfield South on Sunday. Kick off at 4:30 versus Chelsea in the League Cup final. Will we be lifting the League Cup, the first bit of silverware which is up for grabs this season? Come the end of Sunday night, are we going to be victorious, or will Chelsea gazump us? All four competitions still on the table, all four trophies still to play for. 3 points between us and Manchester City, with us leading them on goal difference. We go to the Etihad in April. Can we hang on to the coattails, ready to pounce and ready to strike? We'll find out come May. We're over and we're out.